short while, and we would be starting with the summit. We are grateful for all their presence and also that of all the esteemed delegates who have joined us today. A word of appreciation for our partners without whose support this event would not have been possible. Organized in association with the Commerce and Transport Department, Government of Odisha, Knowledge Partners, Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, Gujarat Biotechnology University, Ecosystem Partners, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, DBT BIRAC, ISBA, TIE Bhubaneswar, Taylor and Francis, ACS East and Northeast Chapter, and ABLE. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to all our partners for their support. We would also like to inform you that post the plenary session, after the exhibition is inaugurated, the Startup Pavilion is inaugurated, we will move into our technical session, starting with a high-level leadership session, followed by lunch break, startup pitch-up session, 2 more back-to-back sessions on leadership driving the blue economy and socioeconomic impact, after which we will also be hosting parallel sessions simultaneously in the main hall here and the conference hall in the first floor. We will, of course, be giving you details as and when the day progresses and the time comes. For now, of course, I'll request everyone, those still outside, to kindly take the seats, get settled, and of course, the mandatory request, do keep your mobile phones in silent mode before we begin with the inaugural session. Just a little change we would want in the seating arrangement. I'll request those sitting at the back, if all of you can first occupy the seats in the front, if there are left, and not be so scattered. Students, and I see a lot of young people sitting at the back. Can I just request you, I see very less to my left, and there are quite a bit to the right. So I'll request all of you to come slightly closer. If you see empty seats, first fill them up and take the first rows first. And as and when more people are joining in, they can take the seats at the back. Because just in case the session begins and then people are joining in, they can always come and occupy the seats at the back. But I'll request everybody to ensure, particularly those at the very last, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India, Srimati Anugar, Chief Secretary, Government of Odisha, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Shri N.B.S. Rajput, Principal Secretary, Commerce and Transport Department and CMD, OSRTC, Government of Odisha, and Dr. Mrityunjay Swar, Chairman, BCKIC Foundation. Can we have a huge round of applause as we welcome all our esteemed dignitaries on dais? As we all know, water is the essence of life and the foundation of blue economy. To mark the beginning of the summit, may I now request our esteemed dignitaries to proceed for watering the plant as a symbolic gesture of nurturing life. So I'll request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly proceed for watering the plant. May this act represent our shared commitment to protecting and responsibly harnessing our ocean and water resources. Thank you to all our esteemed dignitaries. As is the traditional practice, we would now like to formally welcome all our esteemed dignitaries on dais with bouquets and uttariya. I'll request Dr. Bhubaneswar, Chairman, BCKIC Foundation, to do the honors and first welcome His Excellency, Mr. Carlito Nunes, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India. And let's have a warm round of applause as we are formally welcoming our esteemed dignitaries here. Bouquet. To welcome Srimati Anu Garg, Chief Secretary, Govt of Odisha. To welcome Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Govt of India. And to welcome Shri N.B.S. Rajput, Principal Secretary, Commerce and Transport Department and CMD OSRTC, Govt of Odisha. Nothing says it better than flowers. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very warm welcome to all of you to the Global Summit on Blue Economy here in Bhubaneswar. Today's inaugural plenary, Blue Economy in Amrit Kal, Advancing Maritime India Vision 2030 towards Viksit Bharat 2047, reflects a defining moment in India's development journey. India's oceans are not merely geographical boundaries, they are gateways to growth, innovation, and global connectivity. With a coastline of over 7,500 kilometers, vibrant coastal communities, and immense marine resources, the blue economy is emerging as a key pillar of India's growth story, spanning fisheries, maritime trade, renewable energy, coastal tourism, and marine biotechnology. Under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, initiatives such as Sagarmala and Maritime India Vision 2030 are strengthening ports, logistic, and ocean-based industries, positioning the maritime sector as a critical driver of Viksit Bharat 2047. And there could hardly be a more fitting host than Odisha, a state whose centuries-old maritime traditions, celebrated through Bali Jatra, continue even today through its nearly 480-kilometer coastline and major maritime infrastructure. Odisha is not merely participating in India's maritime resurgence, it is actually helping lead the national blue economy narrative. On that note, may I invite Dr. Bhubaneswar, Chairman, Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster Foundation, whose vision for BCKIC as a knowledge cluster is what has brought us all together to explore the untapped potential of our oceans, to present the welcome address and set the context for the summit.
Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and a warm welcome to the Global Summit on Blue Economy 2026 at Bhubaneswar. This is being organized by Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster, which is an initiative of the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Govt of India in association with the Commerce and Transport Department of Govt of Odisha. And with our knowledge partner, the Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, AMTZ, and the Gujarat Biotech University. What a great morning today. The inaugural ceremony is being launched by several luminaries on the dais. The guest of eminence, His Excellency Carlito Nunes, the Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India. He has been a big support to build a partnership between two countries, especially in the sector of blue economy. I met him and he has been so generous to extend all his support. I welcome you, sir, to Bhubaneswar into Global Summit. So big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because this is not happening everywhere. This is happening in Odisha and Bhubaneswar. I'm so proud being a part of this ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the big round of applause for Srimati Anu Garg ji, the Chief Secretary of Govt of Odisha, because she has been the leadership that always talks about, supports all technology kind of things, what you go to her. And ma'am, with your support, we can really position Odisha as the launchpad for blue economy. And this can really bring a lot of avenues for Odisha, for the country. Welcome you. And special welcome to Dr. M. Ravichandran, the Secretary of Ministry of Earth Science, Govt of India. Yesterday he landed, and the time he landed till midnight, he was talking to us about opportunity for Odisha in blue economy. I welcome you, sir, for all your wisdom and to bring a lot of avenues for us, especially in the sector of blue economy. The host, also the secretary, the NPS Rajputji, the Secretary of Commerce and Transport Department of Government of Odisha, for his continuous support to make this program, the summit, possible. Of the dais, warm welcome to all the delegates, the dignitaries, the speakers, the chairperson, the panelists, everybody, the members of BCKIC, the CNT Department, Government of Odisha, and everyone, the participants, all who are present today in this auditorium. So happy to mention that the 2 days, this Convergence Summit or the platform will bring several diversified people, the expertise, the experience, and the wisdom from various enablers, stakeholders, including leadership, state leadership, the diplomats, the bureaucracy, the government organizations, the global think tank like GSP, the global researchers, the World Bank, NITI Aayog, Ministries, defense personnel. I'm happy to see many of them here. And the personnel from the startups, the researchers, the corporates, the students, NGOs, foundations, I think everyone, this is probably the first of its kind. The Convergence platform is not just a conference. As you might have seen the program has been nicely curated, including blue biotechnology, marine bioresources, blue economy, social impact, leadership sessions, who drives the blue economy, and ocean intelligence, data forecasting, climate risk, ecosystem approach towards sustainability and blue economy, net zero, ocean economy, maritime security, ports, petroleum, maritime trade, corridors, investments, startups, connect program, and a lot of convergence panel to bring academia, researchers, incubators, and government bodies together for a bigger, impactful initiatives of blue economy in the state of Odisha. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just an event, this is a platform for a big purpose. The deliberations outcome, your recommendations and suggestions will come up as a documents, and this could be play a catalytic role to develop the action plan to strengthen the blue economy sector, not only for Odisha, but for the country. Let us learn from each other and make things much more impactful, sustainable, and scalable. Thank you so much for being part of such unique global summit on blue economy. Again, I welcome all of you and enjoy these 2 days of deliberations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swar, for that warm welcome and for wonderfully setting the context for the summit ahead. We have with us on stage today Shri NBS Rajput, Principal Secretary, Commerce and Transport Department, Government of Odisha, and CMD, Odisha State Road Transport Corporation. He brings over 2 decades of administrative experience across public administration, infrastructure, and governance, and I will now request him to address this wonderful gathering.
Namaskar. His Excellency, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India, Mr. Carlito Nunes, respected Chief Secretary, Ma'am, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Chairman, BCKIC Foundation, all the guests, all the dignitaries who are here from Odisha, outside country also, I welcome you all. It's my privilege to welcome you all to this August Global Summit on Blue Economy. 2-day summit we are having here in Bhubaneswar on 13th and 14th of March. The Commerce Transport Department, Government of Odisha is deeply proud to extend its valuable support and partnership with BCKIC Foundation, that is Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster Foundation, to have this summit in Bhubaneswar. This collaboration significantly strengthens the vision of positioning the state as a national leader in the blue economy ecosystem, fostering innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable maritime growth. The theme of our inaugural session today sets our trajectory, blue economy in Amrit Kal, advancing maritime India Vision 2030 towards Viksit Bharat 2047. This summit has been designed precisely to move the blue economic conversation from ideas to implementation through partnership, enabling pathways, and focused thematic work. As outlined in the Odisha Vision Document 2036, the blue economy is a vital emerging employer sector that we are scaling through focused incentives and innovative financing. Blessed with 575 kilometers of coastline, the diverse aquatic ecosystem, Odisha is already India's fourth largest fish producer. However, our vision for 2047 is more ambitious. We aim to make fisheries and aquaculture a key driver of economic growth. Projecting is to contribute 20 to 25% to our agriculture GSDP. We have set clear time-bound target, scaling total fisheries and aquaculture production from 1.12 million metric ton per annum to 5.10, ranking among the top 2 states in the country for shrimp production and driving annual shrimp exports to 35,000 crores in Indian rupees. To achieve this overarching vision, the mission of the Commerce Transport Department is clear. That is to focus on port-led development, infrastructure connectivity, coordinated governance, sustainable practices, and fostering innovation. We are aggressively supporting the commercialization of marine technology. We are releasing a compendium showcasing top 50 blue economy-based startups from Pan-India, and I'm proudly sharing that 20 out of these 50 are from Odisha. We are pairing this immense local talent with regulatory simplification so innovators can move from lab to sea without any delay. This summit focuses India's national blue economy mission by aligning center-state industry collaboration. Our next 2 days, I am confident that discussion across priority themes will lead to partnership, pilot and investment linkages that benefit coastal community while protecting our ecosystem. With these words, I wish this summit a great success. Thank you. Jai Jagannath. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your address. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences and Atmospheric and Ocean Scientist of international repute. Dr. Ravichandran has spent his career decoding the mysteries of the deep sea, and today we are privileged to have with us here. I'll request Dr. Ravichandran to present the blue economy perspective as we look towards Viksit Bharat 2047.
Namaskar. His Excellency, Sri Caledonian Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India, Chief Secretary of Government of Odisha, Srimati Anu Gaur, Principal Secretary of Commerce and Transport Department, Government of Odisha, Sri NBS Rajput, Chairman of Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster, Dr. Bhubaneswar, and distinguished delegates, invitees, friends, and various participants and media. Very good morning to all of you, and I congratulate especially Dr. Muttunjay for bringing all together under the global summit, especially for the blue economy. I am very pleased to be here as part of this important summit because the blue economy is one of the important workforce or the horse maybe for the Ministry of Earth Sciences. As you all know that ocean provides oceans of opportunity, but at the same time, it is also having a lot of challenges, seas of challenges. So it is our endeavor to navigate between how to harness the resources as well as how to mitigate various challenges or hazards and other things. When you talk about the opportunity, you name it anything the human kind is required, either food, water, energy, health. Health, I mean health of the human being as well as health of the ecosystem, and also climate change, various things it is available from the ocean. And also it is important, the ocean is a main what is called the transportation, shipping. More than 90% of the volume of the material is transported through ocean. And also it is a underwater domain is a security space, and it is also having lot of immense opportunity, and also to regulate weather and climate. When you want to speak about weather, next 10 days you can talk about atmosphere, but beyond 10 days you have to think about ocean, because the clue is available from the ocean. And also it is a carbon sinks, and half of the oxygen comes from the ocean because of the phytoplankton. So much opportunities and resources are available. At the same time, challenges. There are many challenges, 3 challenges. One is a climatic, because of sea level rise and harmful algal bloom, marine heat wave, coastal erosion. So many things are happening because of the climate change and other aspects. And the non-climatic change, such as you have a oil slick, or you have a marine litter, plastic, and also we have a man-made disturbance to the sea, and many more in the non-climatic, including there are about hazards coming from various oceanographic hazards, especially tsunami, cyclone, associated storm surges, everything. Though the intensity of the cyclone is due to climate change, but the cyclone is mainly non-climatic. And the last one is challenge is technology or observation to understand how much we have understood the ocean. Though we have a lot of ocean, but we have only understood only 5% of the ocean. We are not able to understand most of the 95% of the ocean still. So we have an opportunity and challenges, and we need to navigate this one. That is our main goal. And when come back to India, India is huge coastline, more than 11,098, exactly 98.8 kilometer coastline. Of course, it is revised recently. And also it is about what is called more than 2.2 million square kilometer of EEZ area, and so many rich heritage, geo-heritage, and it is in the tropical region. So we have a very good biodiversity exists, both flora and fauna, and immense opportunities available all along the coast. And India, we have to be justified. I think the only ocean after Indian Ocean, named after India, so it is Indian Ocean. And we have all 3 corners. One is we have ocean, and another side we have a sea, Arabian Sea, and another side we have a Bay of Bengal. So we have all kinds of seas around us. So we have plenty of opportunity to harness sustainably. When you are talking about Odisha alone, we have immense potential for taking blue economy for perspective. Even this year's budget itself, there are a lot of opportunity has been put forward. Though our vision for blue economy in 2047 is the present GDP, whatever we are contributing to the blue economy, that we need to double. That is our objective. It is national objective. For that, each state and center and various academia, as well as research lab and industries, and collaboration is the must. We need to work together. So when you talk about Odisha, we have a lot of resources in renewable energy in the offshore. You take it offshore wind, you take ocean thermal energy, you take about ocean current energy, and you take about wave energy, you have tide energy, you have a salinity gradient energy. When Mahanadi is going to the sea, there you can get the gradient between the salt, we can produce a lot of energy. So immense opportunity in terms of energy. In the food sector also, we can have not only coastal fisheries, we can think about offshore fisheries. Now the recent budget announcement has made the deep sea fishing is one of the important ingredient. Duty-free deep sea fishing has been announced this year. So we have a lot of opportunity. Now we know where the fish likely to get. From our center in Incais, Hyderabad, we can tell in deep sea which area we have a fish availability, we can always forecast. So that is opportunities available. So we can always work together with the fishermen, and where we need to go and where we need to put the net. All these things we can work with. We have information knowledge, but we need to utilize that information for the benefit of the society. That is more important. So the deep sea fishing, and second important things for Odisha perspective is coastal tourism. We have rich coastline, more than 575, more than coastlines are there in Odisha. So we have a lot of beautiful beaches, we need to have a blue flag features and various coastal heritage we need to make. Some of the coastal parks we have to generate. So we need to have a coastal ecotourism, we need to build on it. And the third element I will talk about is a coastal shipping. So India is fortunate to have not only the what is called many opportunity, but also uniquely posed because we have only the reversal of currents takes place only in India, in the east coast and west coast. One season it goes to northward, another season it goes to southward. So why we cannot use this coastal current information for the navigations, especially for the shipping, for large volume to transport in one season from one place to another. So optimum ship routing is an important ingredient which we need to think about. So there are many opportunities are available, and blue biotechnology, that means marine biotechnology is an important ingredient. In marine, you have a lot of, as I mentioned that because of India is fortunate to have a tropical belt, we have a rich biodiversity, both flora and fauna. I think anything you take it from algae to various resources, so we can have a pharmaceuticals, we can have a various nutraceuticals and various drug from the sea we can bring out, and also seaweeds. All these things we can make it, especially for coastal regions. So I think we have immense opportunity, but at the same time we need to think about various challenges also. So we need to have optimum things to do for the future, what is called economic benefit as well as sustainability in place. And the last one I want to say about is the Bhubaneswar itself. There are many central government institutions, you name it, either Institute of Life Sciences or Minerals and Materials of CSIR. All these things, they are working on non-living resources from the ocean, and another institute is living resources from the oceans. These are the two important institutions in-house in what is called Bhubaneswar. I think we can all work together, state, center, industries, and international collaborators, and definitely in the coming years, we will be able to harness the ocean resources sustainably, and also we will try to mitigate various hazards, especially you cannot say that Odisha is immense hazard like a cyclone, associated storm surges, and other things. So we need to mitigate that too, and definitely we will have a lot of opportunity, and we will work together. And for that reason, India, we have what they call started the important one of the mission, that is a deep ocean mission. Maybe in the next, in the other session, I will be talk about what is the importance of the deep ocean mission, what we are aiming for it, how it will be benefited to the society, and how we can work together in that aspect, deep ocean mission. With this, once again, I thank Dr. Mrityunjay for inviting me, and definitely we can have a more and more discussion, we can collaborate for the success of harnessing the blue economy for the benefit of the society. With this, I thank you once again all.
Thank you, Dr. M. Ravichandran, for sharing your valuable insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us His Excellency Mr. Carlito Nunes, Ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste to India, appointed as Timor-Leste's first Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to India. He's today playing a crucial role in strengthening diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties between the two nations. It'll be an honor to now request him to address the gathering. Let's welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Honorable Chief Minister, Excellency, Her Excellency Anugrad, Excellencies at the dais and off the dais, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. My heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Swar, Chairman of BCKIC, organized this immense platform to share our ideas how to protect our marine with its economy. Very good morning and namaste. On behalf of the government of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, I would like to sincerely thank the organizer for the kind invitation to participate in this global summit on blue economy in Amrit Kal, Advancing Maritime India Vision 2030 towards Viksit Bharat 2047, here in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Seafood is not only a staple food of our millions of people across Asia, but it's also a vital pillar of food security, rural livelihoods, and sustainable development. For Timor-Leste, the ocean holds even greater significance. Our marine territory represents approximately 87% of our national area, placing our country at the heart of the Coral Triangle, often referred to as the Amazon of the seas, and recognized as the global epicenter of marine biodiversity. Our waters are home to extraordinary marine life, including around 30 of the world's 90 species of cetaceans, such as whales, dolphins, and orcas. In addition, Timor-Leste hosts vibrant coral reef ecosystems with more than 1,300 reef fish species and over 400 coral building species. As we as 6 species of the sea, turtles, many endemic species, and ongoing discoveries that continue to highlight the riches of our marine biodiversity. For our country, seafood plays a crucial role not only in supporting our marine sector, but also ensuring nutrition, livelihoods, and economy opportunities for our coastal communities. As a small island nation blessed with such rich marine resources, Timor-Leste strongly believes in the importance of the blue economy, sustainable fisheries, responsible marine management, and the protection of our ocean ecosystem are essential to ensure that these resources continue to benefit present and future generations. We also believe that international cooperation and knowledge sharing are key to addressing global challenges such as climate change, marine pollution, and overreaching platforms such as this summit are therefore vital in strengthening our partnership and promoting sustainable ocean governance. I think later, after the session, there will be discussion, so I will share more of what's the government of Timor-Leste is a policy on blue economy, especially in a specific island in Timor-Leste, what we call Atauru Islands. That's a specific marine blue economy that the government has. So I will share in the later of the session. So thank you, Bahut Bahut Dhanyawad, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move towards a significant moment in the inaugural session. We move towards the release of the Blue Economy Startup Compendium. May I request all our esteemed dignitaries on dais to kindly release the compendium. It is a curated catalog of 50 deployment-ready technologies and startup working across areas such as marine environment monitoring, smart aquaculture, marine biotechnology, coastal ecosystem restoration, offshore energy, and maritime technology. By bringing together startup, government, industry, and investors, the compendium aims to accelerate technology deployment, policy support, and innovation-driven growth in marine and coastal sectors. A big round of applause as it gets released. We'll now move towards the release of the blue economy. Okay, one more picture. And we'll move towards the release of the Blue Economy Research Abstract Book, which brings together academic research presented at the Global Summit on Blue Economy 2026 here in Bhubaneswar. I'll once again request all esteemed dignitaries to kindly release the abstract book. This showcases faculty and student research innovations across marine biotechnology, coastal ecosystem management, blue carbon, renewable ocean energy, aquaculture, marine bioresources, and coastal infrastructure resilience. A big round of applause. We also have Dr. Namrata Mishra, CEO of BCKIC Foundation, joining in for the release. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all our esteemed dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honored to have with us today Srimati Anu Garg, Chief Secretary, Government of Odisha, a trailblazing leader whose administrative journey has been defined by strategic vision, inclusive governance, and transformational impact across sectors. As the first woman Chief Secretary of Odisha, she today steers the entire administrative machinery of the state, brings with her more than 3 decades of experience across grassroots administration, state-level policy leadership, and key assignments within the Government of India. Having played a key role in shaping the Viksit Odisha 2036 vision document, she has consistently championed the idea of Odisha's 480-kilometer coastline emerging as a powerful driver of the state's economic growth and development. It'll be an honor to now request her to present Odisha's Blue Economy vision. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. His Excellency, Ambassador of Timor-Leste, Dr. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, my colleague, Principal Secretary Commerce and Transport, Dr. Mrityunjay Swar, Chairman of BCKIC and other officials of BCKIC, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me welcome you on behalf of Government of Odisha to our beautiful state and the lovely city of Bhubaneswar. And while we will be discussing blue economy, I hope Mr. Mrityunjay Swar will give you time to also explore our blue oceans and the lovely beaches. So please give them some time to also visit those. Friends, for us, this is a very, very important conversation that we will be having for the next 2 days, because we always say that Odisha is really blessed with this 575 kilometers of coastline, lending itself perfectly to port-led development, to deep-sea fishing, to coastal tourism, to marine ecosystems being developed, and to offshore energy needs. So, I mean, in different ways, we can use this. For a long time, we have said that Odisha really has an edge. And when I say edge, I mean EDGE, so where E stands for economy. Odisha, you will be very happy to know, is no longer the Odisha where, you know, people used to associate with poverty and starvation deaths and sale of children and things like that. No longer, touch wood. Odisha now is a revenue surplus state, a mid-income state with $113 billion economy. So our GSDP right now is almost 10 lakh crores. And having said that, you will be very happy to know that only 2 days back, NITI Aayog released a report on fiscal health of states. And when they say fiscal health, they mean resource mobilization, they mean how much debt servicing is done, etc. I mean, they have different fiscal prudence being maintained. And we found that in that, NITI Aayog has found that Odisha is number 1 amongst all the major states and number 1 by a margin. So if we are at 73%, the next state is there, 53%, and then all the other states, 52, 51, that is the number they have received. And that is because for a long time, we have been able to manage our mineral resources, auction them well, get revenue from that, manage our finances very prudently. And so we always say that we are moving at a growth now of 7.9%, which is better even than the national average. And from last year, where we were at 7.2, that it's improved since then. And so, touch wood, we are on a growth trajectory. The D in EDGE is for demography. Again, we are blessed. We can harness the demographic dividend. We have almost 64% of our population in the age group of 15 to 64. And we are skilling them and hope to utilize each one of them. G is for geographical advantage. And this is what we are discussing today, this 575-kilometer long shoreline, oceans, and related coasts, beaches, how we can utilize that. Apart from that, mineral wealth, our strategic geographical advantage of leading into Southeast Asia. There are many advantages geographically that we have. And then the last E in EDGE is for ecosystem. That is something that has been developed over a period of time in the state, where we have come up with many progressive policies relating to everything under the sun. And when I say we have the edge, we also have a vision. As part of this ecosystem, we have developed an ecosystem and developed a vision, and that vision is for 2036, when Odisha will turn 100, and 2047, when the nation turns 100. So, Samruddha Odisha and Vikasit Odisha at 2047. In that vision, we plan to go from the $113 billion economy that we are to $500 billion by 2036 and $1.5 trillion by 2047. At present, we are roughly 3% of the national GDP. We will become 4% of the national GDP if we achieve $500 billion. And if we achieve $1.5 trillion, we would be 5% of the national GDP at that point in time. Now, this is a huge ask. Many people would say very, very ambitious, very aggressive. But I think that is what visions are. They are meant to be aspirational. And unless we ask for this, we will not be able to reach here. And however, if we are to do that, our growth rate has to go beyond 7.9, and we have to move structurally also. Right now, with a lot more focus on primary, we have to move to the tertiary sector, the services sector. Services sector as part of the GSVA has to move from 37 presently to 45. So, a lot of changes have been conceptualized in this vision. And one of the very key part of this is going to be blue economy. Very, very critical part would be blue economy, because port-led development, fisheries, tourism, everything is a very important constituent of our vision document. What we are planning in fishing is that, and two of those, you will be happy to know, have also been announced by our Chief Minister in this year's budget, is to set up a deep sea fishing mission and also to have a shrimp mission. And the idea is to become eventually among the top 2 states in shrimp production and export, and top 3 states of India in marine fishing, top 3 states in India in seafood production and export. So essentially harness whatever we can, not just for bettering livelihoods, but also contributing to the economy. And in doing that, we will have to set up a lot of landing centers, harbors, etc., which we are going to be doing. The second, the port-led development, as all of you are aware perhaps, that we already have 1 major and 2 minor ports. But what is being planned is that this Paradip port will be doubling its capacity. So that is one very big thrust. We also have identified 12 sites for fresh new ports, of which 2 are already in different stages of development at Subarnarekha and Astarang. We have also very recently identified, Government of India has identified, and they would be taking up another port near Bahuda. And ship building and repair is another area that is being taken up very soon. The other point is tourism. We want more and more tourists to come to India for Odisha. So far, when people think of India, tourists think of India, they used to think of Rajasthan, they used to think of maybe some temples in South India or Agra. We want them to think of Odisha. So we are saying our tagline would be, if you are thinking of India, so think India, think Odisha. We want everybody to come to Odisha, and for that, beaches will be a very important product. You will be happy to know that 14 beaches are being developed, 2 as blue flag beaches, and we are in the process of identifying more of them, developing more of them, and also wherever we are finding that they are being eaten away, we are trying to ensure that they are restored. We are also going to be developing a cruise terminal for coastal shipping and all that at Puri, for which we have identified some land and we will soon be starting that. But this is going to be another very critical factor. Dr. Ravichandran mentioned about offshore renewable energy, and I am so excited to hear that there is so much potential apart from what we used to think was tidal energy and wind energy, but he's talking about so many other ways it can be done, and I really look forward to opportunities to be able to understand that better and harness that. He also spoke with me about marine spatial analysis, which means that every part will be assessed to indicate what kind of contribution can be made, and we will be very happy to start that kind of very scientific analysis so that we can do a more professional job of harnessing these advantages of blue economy. Marine biotechnology also, I think some of you are perhaps aware, we have this OMBRIC initiative where we have brought together many of these institutions, innovators, entrepreneurs to accelerate marine biotechnology research. So in the end, all I would like to say is that it is so nice to see so many people together in this room from different categories. So we have science, industry, we have policymakers, practitioners, we have academia, we have researchers. So it's really good to see you all. And I'm hoping that we will be able to work very, very closely with the Government of India, Department of Earth Sciences, with various global research institutions, with academia, with industry partners, startups, innovators, and I'm really excited at all the various sessions that will be taking place, and I wish I could attend at least some of them, but some of my colleagues will be here attending some of these sessions, participating. And in the end, we are looking forward to the suggestions that you will be giving and how we can take this blue economy forward and how we can align it with the already very ambitious vision of Government of Odisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for wonderfully presenting the Blue Economy Vision for Viksit Odisha 2036 and your inspiring address. We would now be presenting mementos to our esteemed guests on dais as a token of appreciation from our side. I'll request Dr. Bhubaneswar, Chairman BCKIC, to do the honors and first present a memento to His Excellency, Mr. Carlito Nunes, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India. A token of appreciation from our side. A warm round of applause. I'll request him to also present a memento to Srimati Anu Garg, Chief Secretary, Government of Odisha. To present a memento to Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. The applause should keep coming as we felicitate our esteemed guests on dais. And to also present a memento to Shri NBS Rajput, Principal Secretary, Commerce and Transport Department and CMDOSRTC, Government of Odisha. We would like to once again thank all our esteemed dignitaries on dais for gracing the inaugural session of this Global Summit on Blue Economy, taking out time from your busy schedules. And I'll now request Chief Secretary Srimati Anu Garg, along with Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Dr. M. Ravichandran, and all our esteemed dignitaries to please proceed for the inauguration of the Blue Economy Startup Pavilion and exhibition in the first floor. So I can request participants to also join in as the Startup Pavilion and the exhibition is being inaugurated. Once again, a big thank you and a gratitude to all our esteemed dignitaries on dais. I'll request everybody to be back by 11:10 as we start our technical session, starting with a high leadership talk session. We'll be starting in a few minutes. I'll once again request all esteemed delegates to kindly take their seats and get settled. Align Center-State Industry Implementation Roadmap. Without any further delay, may I invite our session chair and distinguished speakers for their leadership talks to kindly join us on stage, of course, with a huge round of applause from all of you. Our session chair, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. And for the leadership talks, let's put your hands together for His Excellency, Mr. Carlito Nunes, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India, Shri P.L. Harna, Chairman, Paradip Port Authority, Shri Satya Tripathi, Secretary General, GASP USA, and Shri G.S. Krishnan, President, ABLE. As our speakers take their seats, allow me to briefly introduce them. We have Dr. M. Ravichandran. We already heard him during the inaugural session, a distinguished ocean scientist, has made significant contribution to ocean observation, climate research, and polar science, has played a pivotal role in strengthening India's ocean observation system, forecasting capabilities, and polar research programs. Under his leadership, several national initiatives related to deep ocean exploration, marine services, and climate research have gained momentum, positioning India as a key player in global ocean science and sustainable ocean governance. He often calls oceans as the oceans of opportunities. We have His Excellency Mr. Carlito Nunes, the Ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste to India. We also heard him during the inaugural ceremony. As the first resident Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India, he has played a crucial role in strengthening diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties between the two nations. Work focuses on enhancing cooperation in areas such as maritime collaboration, trade partnership, regional diplomacy, and sustainable development across the Indo-Pacific. Through his diplomatic engagement, he continues to promote stronger regional partnership and shared maritime prosperity. We have with us Sri P.L. Harnath, the Chairman and Managing Director of Paradip Port Authority, one of India's major maritime gateways, a senior officer of the Indian Railway Traffic Service. He brings extensive experience in logistic, transportation system, and infrastructure development. Under his leadership, Paradip Port Authority has focused on expanding cargo handling capacity, improving port connectivity, and strengthening operational efficiency, thereby playing a critical role in supporting India's maritime trade and the country's emerging blue economy ecosystem. We have with us Sri Satya S. Tripathi, Secretary General of the Global Alliance for a Sustainable Planet, USA, a globally respected leader in sustainable development and environmental governance. He previously served as Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and head of the New York office of the UN Environment Program. With decades of experience in international policy, sustainability framework, and global climate negotiation, he has played a significant role in shaping global conversations on green economy, climate action, and sustainable development. And we also have with us Shri G.S. Krishnan, the President of the Association of Biotechnology-Led Enterprises, India's leading industry association representing the biotech sector. With extensive leadership experience in the life sciences ecosystem, he has been instrumental in fostering industry-academia collaboration, advancing biotechnology innovation, and strengthening India's bioeconomy. Through his work with ABLE, he continues to support policy advocacy, research partnership, and the growth of India's biotechnology and life sciences industries. May I now request the session chair, Dr. M. Ravichandran, to take this session forward. Let's have a warm round of applause once again for all our distinguished delegates. You would like to speak from there, sir, or you would like to speak from here? Wherever, sir, whichever is done.
Very good morning once again. Of course, this session is mainly for what is called, we have important things, how we can start the session. Basically, we want to how to accelerate our blue economy component to the national GDP. For that, what are the things we need to do in various sectors? That is what we are going to think about in this high-level leadership session. Of course, in this session, before starting, we need to have a more and more collaboration, as I mentioned already. But I want to highlight one of the important ingredients of national blue economy component per se. Number one is actually the blue economy. It is not only the one ministries or one sector component. It is a combination of various central ministries, states, and the coastal developers. Many people will be coming together, and we have to work together for that. You name it for shipping sector, or you name fishery sector, or you can take about what is called Ministry of Environment and Forest for marine spatial planning, and various sector has to come and work together. So each ministry, as central ministry, has an important pilot project of blue economy. For example, I come from Ministry of Earth Sciences, where we want to have innovate, develop a technology or various resources, how to use this. For that, we have one new mission that has been announced recently, maybe 2-3 years back. That mission is Deep Ocean Mission. Under that mission, there are about 6 verticals. Why I'm telling is some of you can come together to work together under this Deep Ocean Mission. We can jointly develop various aspects of blue economy. That is the main objective. So there are about 6 verticals. The first vertical belongs to development of technology for harnessing ocean resources. either living or non-living or whatever the resources, sustainably how to use. So we need to develop a technology. There are various technology available, but we need to have a efficient technology in terms of harnessing energy or desalination, or maybe we can have a deep sea fishing, or what is called various other aspects we need to do some technology. So that is a number one. Number two is basically coastal services, mainly how the futuristic, how the our coastal landscape will change in future. So what are the marine spatial planning we need to think about accordingly. Suppose some particular coast is going on eroding, so that how to avoid, and where it is industry to be put in place. So we basically we want to see how our coastline structure morphology will change. For that we are making a models and futuristic how it will be changing. And the third aspect is marine biodiversity. Basically, what are the marine biodiversity exists in our water, is it in flora and fauna, we want to document. For that, what are the things are required. And fourth one is marine non-living resources. Basically, to hunt especially the minerals in the deep ocean. And basically, you may be knowing that polymetallic nodules or hydrothermal sulfides or cobalt crust. So these are the minerals abundant in the ocean, how we can harness sustainably, environmental friendly, whether it is a technology is available, and how do we do that? That is a thing. First we have to hunt, and resource map we have to do, how much is available, whether it is economically possible to harness that one, that is the fourth. And the fifth one is energy and water, how we can have energy from the ocean, various forms of energy from the offshore, and also how we can have a desalination water, not unlike a conventional desalination water, it will put a brine into the mainland, but we want to have without brine to be land, because the water should not be polluted in the coastal regions. So how we can avoid, and such a technology what is available, how we can get the fresh water. And the last one is sixth vertical is mainly it is a ocean biology or marine biotechnology, and also along with the capacity building. So when we want to harness the ocean resources sustainably, we need to develop various technology, services, science, and other things. For that, we need more and more human capital. How do we develop more and more human capital in this aspect? That are another aspect. So all these six verticals put together, we are working on deep ocean mission. Under this deep ocean mission, there are many in India, roughly about hundreds of universities and centers are working already. So if you are not part of it, I request some of you, please come forward. We will work together under the deep ocean mission so that we can see how we can harness the ocean resources sustainably. With this, I request now our esteemed panel members to have some of the ideas on what is their best practices or any other things, how we can accelerate our India's National Blue Mission, how we can maybe jointly with various industries and other people, how we can do. With that, I request our panelists. Of course, we have 4 eminent panelists. Of course, one, our Honorable His Excellency, Ambassador to Timor-Leste and to India. And then we have a Chairman of Paradip Port Trust. So it is shipping is one of the main ingredients for blue economy. And Satya Tripathi, Secretary General of GISP, is very knowledgeable in this aspect, not only from India, but also in the global perspective. I understand that he is very knowledgeable, so he can share some of the knowledge, how we can accelerate our blue economy growth. And lastly, Sri G.S. Krishnan is a president of ABLE, so he can also share his vision and how we can contribute together in the blue economy growth. So with this, once again, I thank you, our panelists. I request our first panelist, His Excellency, Honorable Ambassador to Timor-Leste, to start his initial talk. Once I think maybe 10-15 minutes, you can have a brief overview, and afterwards, if time permits, we can ask for quick some what is called questions or anything if time permits. With this, I thank you one and all. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Secretary. Yes, I would like to give insights on Timor-Leste blue economy sector and its development. It's ongoing. As I mentioned in my inauguration, Timor-Leste is a marine resource, form of a critical part of national growth. Now this is how, supporting our livelihood, nutrition, and sustainable economy growth. Our oceans are home to rich biodiversity, vibrant coral reefs, and unique marine species, making them central to both environmental stewardship and economy development itself. And in recent years, Timor-Leste has placed a strong emphasis in advancing key initiatives to strengthening its blue economy. These efforts include promoting salt production, expanding small-scale production through improved techniques, and exploring new export markets. At the same time, the country remains firmly committed to ocean conservation, coral reef protection, biodiversity safeguarding, and expansion of marine protected areas. We was visited in pavilions, very interesting, and many young people start, AI reefs and also AI, how to make it biodiversity sustainable in the future. So I think this is a very good opportunity in the future. We will discuss further about the cooperation. And Timor-Leste is home to some of the most pristine coral reefs in the world with extraordinary marine biodiversity. The waters surrounding Atauru Islands, there's one island just next to or between Timor-Leste and Indonesia, are scientifically documented to host the highest reef fish biodiversity globally. The country's marine ecosystems include more than 400 species of reef-building corals, vibrant soft corals, giant sea ferns, and extensive coral gardens that remain in remarkable conditions. This rich marine environment includes several endemic coral species, represents not only a natural treasures, but also a vital foundation for sustainable blue economy development. A comprehensive blue economy policy and action plan is currently under development, aimed at guiding sustainable marine resources utilization and ensuring that our strategies are aligned with international best practices. Within this framework, Timor-Leste has adopted a 30 by 30 conservation target, designating 30% of our marine areas for conservation by 2030, in alignment with the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. To operationalize these commitments, the government of Timor-Leste has initiated several key strategic projects, including Atauru National Park and the Marine Investigation and Education Center on Atauru Island, focusing on research, education, and sustainable marine management. So, I think it's very interesting. We will stop at some pavilions. Young people, display a lot of interesting things, especially how to conserve the marine. So, definitely in the future we will establish our cooperation in this sector. Second, mangrove restoration and expansion programs aimed at protecting coastal ecosystems, enhancing biodiversity, and mitigating the impact of climate change. These initiatives highlight our commitment to integrating economic growth, environmental stewardship, ensuring that our oceans remain a sustainable and resilient source for future generations. Timor-Leste looks forward to sharing experiences, learning from international partners, and strengthening collaboration with countries like India to further operationalize blue economy strategies that balance conservations, innovations, and economic opportunity in the future. So I think this is my insights and overview what Timor-Leste has been doing now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency. I think the marine protected areas as well as the biodiversity is an important aspect, because the biodiversity mapping is only to map the where are all we can protect the marine protected areas, especially when the juvenile fishes are there and fish breeding places we want to protect so that we can have a sustainability in place. So that is also in India also in 2030, that is called 30 by 30. 30% of the area will be protected by 2030. That is, we are also working on that. That is the main objective. We are going for biodiversity mapping. And second thing is, very soon it will be a BBNJ. Many people might have been heard about biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions. So under that, now already sufficient countries have treaty has ratified. Now I think very soon the COP1 will start by this year. And I'm sure that India also, we are advocating, very soon we will be amended this BBNJ ratification. So with this, I think not only from BBNJ ratification, but also the resources per se, even some of you may not be knowing that the Southern Ocean fisheries has immense potential to harness, especially to have grill fisheries and also tooth fisheries. India is a signatory to Antarctic Treaty, but unfortunately we are not harnessing the resources available there. I think that is also imperative that we need to think about how we can harness that resources sustainably. So these are all some of the important things. So now next I request Dr. Harinit for making remarks. Yeah, you can. So port and shipping also an important things to blue economy. I think it is very, government is stepping up very aggressively in port and shipping. So maybe we will hear from the chairman of the Port Trust.
Dr. Ravichandran ji, the moderator of the session, esteemed co-panelists and erudite audiences. So, namaskar. As you all know that the ships carry 90% of the trade the world carries. The maritime sector is very, very vital, and it is the backbone of any country's economy and trade. As the India progresses from the current level of 4.3 or 4.5 trillion economy to 7 trillion economy by 2030 or even 30 trillion economy by 2047, the maritime sector is expected to play very, very, very important role in this sailing of from 4.3 to 30 trillion economy. As you know that the Paradip port, which is a very, very important major port of the East Coast, and it is the only major port in fact in Odisha. If you take the, we have, you know that there are some major ports which are under the government of India, there are non-major ports which are under the state governments, under the private ownership. So all put together today, we have a capacity of about, so almost about 2,700 million ton capacity we have. This 2,700 million capacity port sector is handling about 1,600 million tons of EXIM cargo plus coastal shipping cargo put together. The vision is by 2047, we want to expand this 2,700 million tons to 10,000 million tons by 2047. That means we'll be quadrupling our capacity. Not only the major ports, the non-major ports, state governments, central governments, all will have to work in unison to achieve this target. Second important thing is, as I said, in Odisha, we have as on date 3 ports. One is the major port, which is the Paradip port, which I belong to. And there are 2 non-major ports. One is the Dhamra on the north, and the south is the Gopalpur port. So last year, all put together, roughly we did about more than 200 million tons, out of which 150 million ton was done by the Paradip port itself. Today, the Paradip port, among all the 12 major ports, we have emerged as the #1 cargo handling port of the country. And we don't want to sit there. We want to further expand. Today, the capacity of Paradip port is about 289 million tons, which we plan to take to 500 million tons by 2047 by expansions, internal expansions. In the next, by 2030, that means next 4 years, so we would like to go up to 350 million tons. That means another approximately about 60 to 70 million tons of capacity will be added through capacity expansion. So that is the way we are going aggressively, we are going to expand the capacity. Ports are often assessed on the time taken for handling a vessel. That means the productivity at the ports is very important criteria to decide efficiency of the ports. It is not only the efficiency of the port, basically, it will also cost to the customer. If I delay the vessel at the port long time, it costs the customer. The logistic cost will go up. That's why each and every port must do effort to reduce the time taken for handling at the ports. That is, we call in port terminology, that is called berth productivity. The Indian average berth productivity today is about 18,000 tons. That means if a vessel stays at a berth for 24 hours, it handles 18,000 tons. Whereas Paradip port is the #1 productive port in the country, the best performing port, and our productivity is almost 35,000. That means we are almost double of the national average today. So we want to make it further improvement by mechanizing all the berths. So Paradip port will become by 2030 100% mechanized port because of the various mechanization plans which are already underway. Second important thing is the cargo diversification. Some of the people who are from Odisha may be knowing that Paradip port traditionally concentrated on only the iron ore and coal and crude oil. Now we want to diversify the cargo in a big way, and so that all the customers of this hinterland will get benefited by the services of the Paradip port. You can understand that there is a fishing harbor very close to Paradip port, and from where the container they used to take earlier to Visakhapatnam from Paradip port, still it is, even it is there, to Visakhapatnam or to Calcutta for export of their reefer container. They used to spend 1 lakh rupees per each container for taking to Visakhapatnam, logistic cost. And we understood that if it is handled at Paradip, he will be hardly spending about 10,000 rupees. That means a huge gain for the customer. So with the help of the state government, and we have worked for the last 2-3 years to bring the EXIM container vessels, because the container business, you all know that, is dictated by the container liners. They will decide which port they want to come, because the cargo anyhow comes to them. Even if they comes to Vizag, the cargo is going there. So there is no loss for them. Loss is for the customer. So we have worked on that. We have invited a number of meetings we conducted. I must thank the government of Odisha for supporting in this venture. So now the last financial year, 24-25, the port started in 1967. It took 24-25, we started the EXIM container services from Paradip port for the first time. This could be possible to various measures taken by the Paradip port, also government of Odisha. Government of Odisha is the first state and with maritime state which has come to the support of the major port to give the viability gap funding for the container liners to come to Paradip. When we are during our discussions, we found that the container liners said minimum we require about 200 containers for coming to here, otherwise operational cost will not be accounted. So that's why the government of Odisha has given $250 for each empty container slot which a particular vessel goes off from the Paradip port. and hardly that VGF was given for 4 or 5 months. Today, they were asking 200 containers per vessel. Today, we are able to give 1,000, 1,500 containers per vessel. We will increase further. Second important thing which I would like to just point out is to provide an ecosystem of comfort and convenience among all the port sector. The customers should feel at ease. They should not feel it. Earlier they were submitting about more than 120 documents to various agencies, to port sector, to port authority, to customs, to immigration, PHO. So many agencies are involved. 120 documents they used to submit earlier. Many of them are redundant. Many of them are multiple submissions. So we, in the entire Indian port sector, we have revamped it. A committee has revamped it. Now we have come down to bare minimum level, and we have a national logistic portal marine, so which is a common platform. And if once a document is uploaded in that, it will go to all the concerned. They need not give the multiple times. They need not to give to redundancy has been reduced. So that is one thing we have done to improve the ease of doing business in maritime sector and as a whole. The second important thing which I would like to mention is the energy transition. The ports handle the most dustiest cargoes like coal, iron ore, apart from other cargoes. So we must give importance for the greener way of handling. The low carbon logistics are the highest priority of the port sector. So today we are working, all the ports in India working on many important things on this. In fact, I would like to say that three green hydrogen hubs have been declared by Government of India very recently, out of which the Paradip port is one. And as a part of this green hydrogen hub, and we are again working closely with the government of Odisha because we don't have land, so we requested government of Odisha to allot land for the green hydrogen producers closer to the Paradip. Closer to Paradip is beneficial to the producers because no desalinization is required. We have a great Mahanadi river water can be utilized. That's why cost of production of green hydrogen will be very less if they produce at Paradip and apart from the port services. That's why government of Odisha is giving the land to the producers. We are developing a exclusive green hydrogen, green ammonia, methanol handling berth at a cost of about more than about 800 crores. Recently, government of India has approved that project where we will be facilitating all these producers to bunker it or to export their green hydrogen or green ammonia. And second important thing which Madam Anugarg, Madam Chief Secretary, Madam has mentioned, that Paradip Port version 2.0. And on one hand, we are expanding our port services, port capacity, greener ways, all these things. On other hand, so we are also entering into various other ventures and which are required for not only for the economic development of Odisha, but also of the nation. We have three important projects which I would like to mention here. The first one is the government of India has salt lands, almost about 5,000 acres of lands in Ganjam district at Bahuda. And they are transferring those lands to Paradip Port. The Paradip Port, along with the government of Odisha and Sagarmala Finance Corporation, we will be developing the 14th major port in the state of Odisha. So it will be a 150 million ton port with 51% share of Paradip Port will be holding the major share because it has experience in port handling. And we will be developing a most world-class and very deep draft port there, because nowadays a port must be deeper in draft and smarter in infrastructure. Otherwise, it cannot survive in this huge competition. The vessels must be about Cape vessels you should be able to handle. So such a Cape vessel enabled port will be developing at Bahuda, which will be serving the southern Odisha, not only southern Odisha, but also the northern Andhra, as well as the Chhattisgarh also. The second important assignment which we'll be taking up is the shipbuilding and ship repair cluster on the north of Mahanadi, close to Paradip. Again, we are working with the government of Odisha. We have a 50-50% equity partnership in this. Already the SPV is in the final stage of completion. The DPR is ready. Here, we will be developing 1.2 million gross tonnage shipbuilding ship repair center, which will be able to build the biggest vessels, almost about 2 to 2.5 lakh DW2 vessels we will be building there. So, you know, shipbuilding is the most important today. because shipbuilding has a huge future, because today, last 24-25, the entire world has constructed about 71 million ton gross tonnage in term for shipbuilding, out of which India's contribution is only 0.1 million gross tonnage. That means we have a huge scope. Our target is we must go to 4.5 million GT shipbuilding capacity by 2047. With that aim, and 4 different places we are developing shipbuilding, out of which our Mahanadi front in Kendrapara district, Odisha is one. In fact, it will provide a huge employment for all the youth, local youth, because the employment multiplier is 6.4. That means if one job is provided by the core industry, that is the shipbuilding, 6.4 jobs are provided by the ancillary industries. There 2,000 acres of land is under acquisition by Government of India for us, and we will be developing. This will be a big, important, play a vital role in the economic development of Odisha and employment potential, providing employment potential to the youth. The third important thing is, as the tourism sector is very important. We have a huge tourist sites, especially the pilgrim sites, but which are very, very popular at the world, but we are unable to attract the cruise tourists to this because due to non-availability of a proper cruise terminal. Initially, we wanted to develop a cruise terminal at Paradip, but we found that Paradip is not yet ready for attracting the cruise passengers. So we have decided to have it Puri because Mahaprabhu ka temple is there, then Konark is there. All this will become a beautiful cruise tourist circuit, and for that we will be building almost a world-class cruise terminal on the river, on the banks of the Mangala River at Puri, and the government of Odisha has agreed to part away the land for us, about 50 acres of land, and this will help us in developing the cruise tourism in state of Odisha. These are some of the ventures, some of the new steps that is being taken by the Paradip port, and along with the government of Odisha, and we will work together. The central government and the state governments are working together to provide a better economic development and future, maritime future for the country. And Paradip port, after having achieved on the volume leadership, we are moving towards creating value and by providing better services to the customers. And with this, and I will be stopping here, and if any questions are there later stage, I'll be ready to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sri Haranath, for your important initiative regarding ports and shipping. So as you all know that whatever he highlighted, it is not only important for the local economy, but also it is a global problems and solutions. As you all know that the maritime transport is important for the economic development of the country. It is not only influence the pace, structure and pattern of the development, and Indian region, especially India, sits astride busy international shipping route, and it's roughly about more than 1.2 lakhs ships per year it is operating in this corridor. And though we have what is called 1 dozen or a little more major ports and hundreds of minor ports, but it is not enough sufficient to transport all the requirements. Of course, the cargo traffic in Indian ports almost double in the recent decade, but it is much more needed. Of course, he has highlighted various initiatives, especially green shipping, shipbuilding, and cruise terminal, and port infrastructure development and other things. So I think it is imperative that to meet the demand, increasing demand, we need to invest not only in finance, but also physical, natural, and human capital in this ports and shipping sector. And also we need to develop definitely deep water ports for handling heavy vessels and other things also we need to think about it. And we need to improve our cargo handling facility at the existing ports. That means we need to improve our infrastructure in the existing port. Finally, we need to think about the optimum ship routing. Once we know that the winds and currents are known, and even we can forecast 5 days in advance very well, so why we cannot use that information for the optimum ship routing from place 1 to A to B when we want to go. Instead of going straight line, we can go because currents and winds-driven route, because our forefathers in Chola Kingdom in the Bay of Bengal, as well as in the Gujarat traders in the Arabian Sea, they have ventured into Africa as well as Indonesia and other places. So why we cannot use that optimum ship routing for the economic benefits? So these are all the various things which we need to think about shipping, and we will discuss, if time permits, how we can move on. And next I request Sri Satya Tripathi, Secretary General for GASP, for giving the views.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll present a little different narrative, which is of course all about growth and the ocean economy, but also a little bit about the climate and global warming and the environment. So let me start by greeting the chair, Dr. Ravichandran. Great pleasure to be here with you. Ambassador Nunes. East Timor is a great friend of India. I had the privilege of sitting down with your president, actually, His Excellency Jose Ramos Horta, in Davos recently at the World Economic Forum. And of course, Mr. Harnath presented eloquently the good things that come out of the oceans. You know, two particular things that are extremely important to note is that 90% of the world's traffic in cargo moves through the oceans. And anybody that was unmindful of that has been rudely reminded of it just recently, thanks to the conflict in the Middle East, that gas prices are soaring, and of course the government of India is doing everything in its capacity to control the situation, but there are things that you control, there are things you don't. Let me start by a word of gratitude for everybody in the room. I don't think many people really realize that 50% of the oxygen we breathe comes out of the oceans. And Dr. Ravichandran, being an eminent scientist, he would know exactly what I'm talking about. And actually the oceans have been making oxygen for far longer than the trees and everything else we see around, and we feel grateful. I mean, that's a very common denominator. We know that trees produce oxygen, but that's a tiny part of the story. Oceans have been producing oxygen for 3.5 billion years. Land-based oxygen only started 470 million years ago. So in terms of the pool of oxygen in the world, atmosphere, it's mostly came out of the oceans, and we're not even grateful. We look at the oceans and we feel, oh, it's a great body of water, and you know, it looks nice and it's scenic and all. But the reality is very different. Life itself depends on our oceans being healthy. For those of you that are in the realm of science would know something about the concept of planetary boundaries. There are 9 planetary boundaries that make human existence possible on the planet. Not just humans, but all the 8 million species that inhabit the planet. We have already breached 7 of them. And when I say breached, we're nearing a tipping point where the breach is irreversible. You can't go back and heal them. And the latest is ocean acidification, which will then prevent its uptake of, you know, the phytoplanktons and the seaweeds and everything else that actually create the possibility for 50% oxygen to come out of it through photosynthesis. You know, these tiny cyanobacterium, they take carbon dioxide and use the water and the energy from the sun to produce the electricity there is and make our oceans healthy. So that's something I think is very important to keep in mind when we are planning for anything at grand scale. What does it do to the oceans? Everything humans use in our modern day existence comes from nature. There are no exceptions to that rule. The plastic bottle you hold, the water you drink, the tables, the chairs you sit in, everything, this microphone, the clothes we wear, everything comes from nature. So if nature gives up or is unable to heal itself, we are done as a species. And development, throughout the history of modern development, built infrastructure has always come at the cost of ecological infrastructure. We cut down trees because we think we need a road for our cars to pass through. Or we clear areas for agriculture, large areas, you know. If we go back to Brazil for the massive beef farming that happens, you know, cattle farming for beef and all, it's to feed our unending appetite for animal protein. By the way, there's nothing wrong in any of it. It's just understanding the thresholds and preparing yourself for it so that we stay within the threshold of renewal. Everything can be used. Nature allows us to use everything, provided we stay within that threshold. And in that, there are significant opportunities for a country like India. We have more than 8,000 kilometers of coastline. Odisha itself is about 475 kilometers. Bordering Andhra Pradesh is 975 kilometers of coastline. You know, if you had your coral reefs healthy, the global ornamental coral reefs industry is in excess of $45 billion. You can actually grow them to sell if your oceans are healthy. That's what you need. Coastal fisheries was talked about. Coastal fisheries provides cheap or free protein to 1 billion people worldwide from the coastal fisheries. When the oceans acidify, when the average sea surface temperature increases, the fish stocks collapse. So everything is related to, so if we create that conservation mindset in our planning thinking, it'll change everything. Am I hurting anything? Can I do anything better when I'm planning for this? You know, we introduced trawling in coastal fisheries a few decades ago. Then they will go along. When it was artisanal fisheries, it was wonderful because the poor fisherman actually had enough brains to understand that if I catch a bunch of fish in my net, the little ones, I'm going to throw them back because they'll grow to be big ones and I can pick them up later. When you trawl, there's no distinction. You pick up everything. That's how fish stocks collapse when you do it at industrial scale. So how can we bring back artisanal fisheries, which could be the lifeline of not just rejuvenating our coasts? We have done a bunch of focus groups in big fishermen communities in different parts of India. And now because the fish stocks have collapsed along the coastline, they have to travel sometimes 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers into the deep oceans. What does that mean? It means that you have to carry big ice boxes because you can't come back the same day. So you have to harvest fish, you put them in your ice boxes and you come back. And they tell us that when they go away for 3-4 days in their fishing expedition, what happens is that 30 to 40% of what they pick up in their nets is actually plastic. And so they spend half a day throwing back all that plastic into the ocean because it has no value. Can we create value for that along the shoreline so that they get encouraged to bring it back to the shore? It does 3 things. It makes the oceans healthier, cleans up the water, fish stocks come back, and the same plastic, instead of using virgin plastic, can we recycle it for meaningful products that we use in our everyday lives? So what I'm trying to say is that the possibilities are endless. Only if we tweak a little bit in our thinking that everything is not for taking. We need to be sensitive to our living environment. You know, people do not understand tipping points when I talk in these big conferences. And an example that I often use is that if you are drowning, many a times we are saved by somebody. You know, somebody grabs us by the hand or by our necks. You know, somebody saves us. Depending on your ability to stay underwater, maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, when your lungs are filled with water, you are dead. That's your tipping point. Nothing can change that tipping point. You can practice, you know, rhythmic breathing, and there are people that can stay underwater for 4 or 5 minutes, you know. Those are like 1 in a billion kind of people. But most of us will be dead in 2 minutes. That's our tipping point. Same with every species. everything that exists in nature has a tipping point. So planning thinking has to make room for conservation thinking. That when I'm doing something, and in nature is all about stocks and flows. There are limited stocks, and then there are flows. As long as you're using the flows without disturbing the survival of the stocks, we are fine as a species, and we can go on for as long as we want. So the Chief Secretary was talking about getting from a 113 billion economy to a 1.5 trillion economy. Many of you in the room might be skeptical of it. I am not actually. Because, I am reminded often of a famous quote from Shakespeare who said, "Man's reach must exceed his grasp, or else what is heaven for?" So ambitions have to be outlandish, even if it sounds very outlandish. Because if you're thinking in the room, it's $113 billion now in more than 75 years of growth. How are you going to get to 1.5 trillion, 10 times in just 20 years? I mean, you'll be right to think that. But if you look at it, there are a lot of countries in the world. Look at Singapore. Look at Norway. Norway was a poor country just 50 years ago. Now they are one of the richest countries in the world. Their sovereign wealth fund is close to $1.5 trillion. They could just live off the interest income of that sovereign wealth fund. So everything is possible. We have to think big. We have to imagine big. There's coastal fisheries. There's tourism. There's mangroves. Mangroves, yesterday, we signed an agreement with an entity in UK for one of our projects, and they are going to pay us $135 a ton of CO2 sequestered from biochar. The normal CO2 credits are selling for between $15 to $20. So and mangroves are equally, valuable. So Odisha has a massive coastline with many estuaries, the river mouths. There's all kinds of things there, Can we bring back hundreds of thousands of hectares of mangroves? Could generate in hundreds of millions of dollars in carbon credit revenue. So there's all kinds of possibilities, and I look forward to sharing more of these ideas in the session that I'm chairing later this afternoon. But what I want to close by saying is that be an optimist. Don't be a pessimist. There are big problems, in climate change, in global warming, in environmental degradation. We have huge problems. And we need to understand them to be able to make changes that will make the earth whole again, make Odisha whole again, make India whole again. And then that's where the whole challenge lies, that we really need to bring back the pristine ecosystems, the environment, and make everything so sustainable that we can all have a fulfilling life and leave behind something for our children, for the generations to come, that they can really benefit from a wholesome environment and a growing economy and a prosperous country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sri Satya Tripathi. Of course, very nicely he highlighted the importance of not only economy as well as environment, the nexus between environment and economy, and also more on not only the economy, but also we need to have what is called some of the things which we need to, especially in India, we need to invest on carbon credit and other things like mangroves, seagrass, and other things. We need to invest so that our ecology will be healthier, not only for providing economy to present generation as well as for the future generations. So thank you, sir, for sharing this information. So next I request Sri G.S. Krishnan to give his valuable views and comments.
Very good afternoon, distinguished chair and the other delegates and our co-speakers over here. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here today, and thanks to Dr. Bhubaneswar for putting up such a wonderful show and inviting us. It's really an honor to be here, and this particular topic on the blue economy. In fact, I could see that there's a big progress from the last year's event, and I would like to quickly let you all know from the India Biotech update from an ABLE perspective. ABLE is the Association of Biotech-Led Enterprise, in fact, which was founded almost 2 decades before. The purpose of this was to ensure that we definitely need proper representation from a biotech perspective, from a policy perspective, and also supporting that segment. With that intent, under the leadership of Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shah, this was started way back 2 decades before. And what do we do basically is to ensure that various segments are specifically focused on. We have members from across the biotech segments, which is basically agri-biotech, bioindustrial, informatics, biopharma, bioagriculture, and various other areas. And we also have members from the various institutions and also from the legal point of view and also the venture funding sort of colleagues over there. Our main focus area will be advocacy initiatives, as I already mentioned, specifically on sector development, looking at biotech as a growth area and an area which needs a lot of attention, a lot of support from a regulatory perspective, and also the funding and the other government support. Institutional support is very, very critical for the growth, and we have been ensuring that there is a very good link between the institutes and the academia. And in fact, one among the things which we have the initiative here in Odisha is with the Kalinga Institute of Technology, where they are our regional chapter here, which supports the overall biotech cluster in the northeastern region. Of course, as I mentioned, the regional chapter is mainly to focus on the biotech opportunities here in this region and ensure what are the challenges, what do we need to focus on, and that's what is the whole purpose of the association. Just quickly going through the ABLE activities. The bioeconomy report, which some of you might have heard about that. Bioeconomy of the country is nothing but the economic value created using biological solutions. This is something which was started about almost less than 7-8 years before on behalf of the Department of Biotechnology and BIRAC. This was actually prepared by the Association of Biotech-Led Enterprises, and we have been doing that. We have also been ensuring that we are able to look at the regions, for example, the regional bioeconomy report, which is gaining momentum in a very big way, because the regions are very keen on understanding what is their contribution to the bioeconomy. So we also have the regional focus coming up. Voice for BT is nothing but the public speaking contest which has been initiated by ABLE again. The whole purpose was almost when biotechnology gained momentum, we had mushrooming biotech colleges all over India. We realized that most of these colleges did not even have a proper laboratory for having a biotech course, and there was a lot of sort of discouragement for the students, and this is where we thought the importance of having a biotech sort of public speaking contest, which basically encourages students to speak on the subject and also pursue biotechnology in a big way, and that has gained momentum. And again, Kalinga Institute for the eastern region, they are our representative to support, and it has been happening in a big way. For the first time, we also last year had an international event where Southeast Asia showed interest in this, and they realized the importance of such a thing to promote biotechnology among the student community, and we have now become international. Best Awards is nothing but the Biotech Entrepreneurship Student Team Awards, again an encouragement for entrepreneurship among the student community to come out with innovative ideas, and then it was actually a jury which basically evaluated what is that they are coming out with, and we were giving them prizes to encourage to pursue entrepreneurship. Of course, the US Bio is nothing but a big event which happens from a pharmaceutical point of view in the US, which ABLE has an India pavilion, specifically encouraging all the startups, apart from the corporate and MSMEs, to join over there to have better interaction with other opportunities which are there outside India for whatever they have innovated. This has gained momentum in a big way, and we have been increasing the area required. So there is a lot of interest from DBT BIRAC and also the Science and Technology Ministry to promote this in a very big way. We also have the various stakeholder engagement, specifically very recently after the release of the Bio E3 policy, the DBT secretary was thinking about how do we make sure that we motivate some of the entrepreneurs to look at specific areas or a low-hanging fruit on a lot of imports which are happening into India, and why can't one look at that as an entrepreneurship opportunity? And we came out with this DBT portal which was just released 2 weeks before, which gives very clearly the biotech products imported into India and how one could capitalize on. Lastly, of course, NITI Aayog very soon will be releasing the roadmap for 2047. The bioeconomy target is 1.2 trillion from what it is today. We are approximately about $185 billion. I'll come to that. You can look at this, the way the bioeconomy has been growing and the way things have been specifically looking at certain areas and certain regions. So looking at this, we will have the bioeconomy report for 2025, which will be released next week by BIRAC and the Ministry of Science and Technology. And you can see that we are on a double-digit growth. This is very, very encouraging, and it's critically important to understand the opportunity for biotechnology from an Indian context. So looking at this again, to give you all the understanding of how the various segments are divided, you can see that bioindustrial contributes to more than 45%, followed by biopharmaceutical, bioagriculture, and bio-IT and research. Just for all your understanding, the shrimp feed or the aqua and the animal nutrition falls under the bioindustrial. That is what is growing the overall bioindustrial segment. And you can look at from a regional distribution point of view, it is predominantly between south and the west, which constitutes of almost 70% of India's bioeconomy, followed by north and east is gaining momentum, and there is a very big opportunity. This is again critically important to understand where the focus has been. While south gained momentum and Bangalore has been the biotech hub, at the same time the way it is spreading across shows very clearly the opportunities for the bioeconomy is very big, and the government's initiatives are supporting this in a very big way. This is again, the next one is to give you an opportunity of understanding which are the top 7 states, which is almost 80%. It's Maharashtra which is leading, followed by Karnataka, Telangana, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh, followed by the rest of the region which is about 22%. So coming to the Odisha's bioeconomy share, in fact, this is one state we have also been requesting, and Dr. Swar is aware about it. We would like to make a bioeconomy report for a better understanding of what the state has contributed so far, what are the opportunities, how can it rather step up from supporting the biotechnology opportunity in a big way, and very soon I'm sure that the state will focus on this. And you can see that what is today is 2.2 billion, which is about almost 1% contribution to the national bioeconomy. Primarily, the focus has been on bioindustrial, especially the biofuels, animal nutrition, alcoholic beverages, poultry, and shrimp, which is predominant. With the blue economy, Odisha could aim for $10 to 15 billion by 2030. We see this as a very big opportunity and a focus area. This is where, when we make the report, we specifically focus on the opportunities. Blue economy is one among them. The state has initiated the blue economy blueprint. So coming to the blue economy, a lot has been said by Dr. Ravichandran and others. The long coastal line which is there makes blue economy ideal for Odisha. Again, the shrimp mission objectives is very good, an opportunity to top the production of shrimps in the Indian context. Of course, enzymes and microbes play a very key role in high efficiency feed for shrimps, expand the processing capacity. Specialized aquatic culture for inland fisheries, genetic improvements of fish feedstock can boost Odisha to top 3 producer and exporter of freshwater fish. Marine Biotech Policy and Initiative, government formulates Maritime Amrit Kal Vision 2047. Again, Dr. Ravichandran mentioned about this. India is the 3rd largest fish producer in the world, with 24.6% CAGR from 2016 to 2030. Variety of microbes and enzymes can improve productivity post-harvest losses. Mariculture as a subset of aquaculture to boost brood banks, nucleus breeding centers using biotech techniques, sea cage farming, bivalve farming, large-scale seaweed farming, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, and recirculating aquaculture. In fact, seaweed farming has gained momentum in a big way, and one of the startups, C6 Energy, is focusing this in a very big way in Bangalore. These are all the opportunities one could look at it. From a policy perspective, we definitely need improved wastewater treatment infrastructure in coastal cities to reduce marine pollution. A lot was spoken by our earlier speaker on this. Recycle marine plastic waste, skill development centers for marine biotech. Again, this is a critical area, and skill development is one area from a biotech perspective has been very critical, which ABLE has been promoting. While we have students coming out of various institutes specialized in certain areas, marine engineering and others, but they are not industry ready, this is where we need to have skill development initiatives which are critical for the growth of the segment and also job opportunities. Map genetic biodiversity of oceans, create marine germplasm database, selective breeding of high-yield fish varieties, trait manipulation using genetic technologies, national centers for marine biotech to boost non-food marine sectors for key raw materials. With this, I'll stop here. These are all opportunities, and we believe that Odisha can definitely excel, and the question is focus and how we support the overall growth of this segment through government policies. With this, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Krishnan. Of course, this is very important because bioeconomy is also, the bioeconomy's important ingredient is a blue economy. Of course, the Bio E3 policy of a recent government initiative like environment, economy, and employment all put together, I think there is important things to be done, especially in terms of policy perspective and other new avenues like mariculture and other things which we need to augment. So with this, I think the initial things we heard, various perspectives from island nations, how different countries looking at the ocean resources or blue economy perspective, and ports and harbor, what are our initiatives, how we are thinking about, and also we are looking at it environment as well as the conservation aspect, and also economy and conservation, how it can be navigated through. And lastly, blue biotechnology also you can heard about it. I think these are the small samples of various components of blue economy. There are many things, fisheries and various things are available which we can be discussing later. I think since the time is up, so I will close at this point of time. And if you have any questions, pertinent questions or anything, you can always catch up in the later time during lunchtime or later sometime. With this, I thank you, all the speakers, and also for the good audience to listen patiently on this various aspects. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our session chair and all our speakers. Can we have a big round of applause This was a very important session, and we would, of course, like to take this opportunity to felicitate all our speakers for their wonderful insights that they've shared with us. So I'll take this opportunity to request Principal Secretary, Commerce and Transport Department, Government of Odisha, Shri NBS Rajput, along with Dr. Bhubaneswar, Chairman BCKIC, to join on stage to felicitate our esteemed dignitaries. I'll request Principal Secretary, sir, to first felicitate our session chair, Dr. M. Ravichandran ji. So Dr. M. Ravichandran ji, our session chair. And I'll also request him to felicitate His Excellency, Mr. Carlito Nunez, Ambassador of Timor-Leste to India. I'll request Mrityunjay ji to felicitate, along with our Secretary, Shri P.L. Harna, Chairman, Paradip Port Authority. We would like to felicitate Shri Satya Tripathi, Secretary General, GASP. And of course, we would also like to felicitate Shri G.S. Krishnan, President ABLE. As you can see, the mementos have been very thoughtfully curated, keeping our theme of the summit. And then we'll have a group photograph before we move to our next session. So I request all our esteemed dignitaries to kindly step forward for the group photograph. This was truly a high-level leadership session, and we are very, very grateful for all the insights, valuable insights and perspective that have come from our esteemed speakers. As our session chair has already informed, you can always network during lunch and during the breaks. We need to stick to the time schedule. Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now move to our next session. So, as you know, all of you had the pleasure, Srimati Anu Garg ma'am, the Chief Secretary, Government of Odisha, along with all our esteemed dignitaries, post the inaugural session, had inaugurated the Blue Economy Expo and Startup Pavilion. And I'm sure some of you have already met the innovators and entrepreneurs who are providing exciting solutions across marine technology, sustainability, and coastal livelihood. And we, of course, will keep encouraging all of you to keep visiting the first floor, even during the lunch break. And anytime there's a break, please do visit and interact with them and see if there is a scope for partnerships. But right now, we are going to make it even more exciting. Over the next few minutes, we will be hearing quick pitches from 13 of those startups who are working at the cutting edge of the blue economy ecosystem, and those you may have already met at the pavilion. Each startup will have 2 minutes to present their innovation. So we'll have a timer set there. So they'll have 2 minutes each for each presentation. And we'll invite one by one the startup. They'll be introducing themselves and talking about, there. So it's all up to them. And we'll, of course, encourage all of you after each pitch. Please do encourage all our young entrepreneurs. And so are we ready for this? I think the energy levels for a global summit like this are a little low. So if we can just hear a nice yes from all of you. Are you ready for this? Wonderful. That I think will give them a good boost of energy as well before they come on stage. So we are starting with Go Karen Industries Private Limited. Let's invite with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I am Dr. Ramanus Panda, founder and CEO of Go Karen Industries Private Limited. We are the company producing sustainable feed solution, patented feed solution from the seaweed and algae. Our feed solution helps to reduce methane emission and also help the animals to deal with feed stress. In the last bioeconomy, we are able to, with the help of SDFC, CSR and BCKIC, we are able to impact 100 farmers in that region and able to increase the productivity. And after that, we realized that this type of has a huge potential of the bioeconomy in Odisha, and for that, we are setting up largest feed plant in Bhubaneswar, which can generate a turnover of 300 crores and can able to impact 1 lakh farmer in the Eastern India. So, I will request all dignitaries to come to our manufacturing facilities in Bhubaneswar and see how we can able to do the link the ocean economics, algae, weed with sustainable feed and create an impact in the larger scale. Our feed technology, which includes the seaweed, able to increase the productivity by 20% and give the additional health benefit to the farmers. So, in near future, we will be creating an ecosystem in the entire eastern coastal area where we can able to increase the productivity through our technology. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, in my excitement, my apologies, I said it's 2 minutes, it's actually 90 seconds, so I'm cutting down 30 more seconds from all of you. I would also like to inform there's a timer to all our entrepreneurs. There's a timer right there, so you can see the timer running there. It's 1 minute, 30 seconds, so 90 seconds timer, so you have to keep in mind. So a big round of applause for Go Karen Industries Private Limited. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We'll now invite AppChemi Private Limited.
Good afternoon, everyone. AppChemi is a paralysis innovation and engineering powerhouse. We turn waste into value. Hi, I'm Sandeep Dikshit, co-founder of AppChemi Private Limited. Since 2007, we have developed a unique portfolio for technologies and projects. 47 paralysis plants, 12 patents, 1.3 million operational hours, 179 million kilograms of waste plastics processed, 3 ISCC plus certified plants, 10,000 liters per day oil purification plant which is recently commissioned, achieved 99.7% removal of chlorine, metal and other critical impurities. The big problem is 8 million tons of waste plastic enters ocean every year. The marine plastic is highly contaminated, heterogeneous and having high salt and moisture content that mechanical recycling simply rejects. With our AI-powered digital twin and modular pyrolysis platform, AppChemi is technology ready to transfer this waste into high purity pyrolysis oil with real-time yield optimization. AppChemi is the solution patented, proven and production ready. Thank you.
Well, right before time, and my apologies, it's AppChemi. So a big round of applause for AppChemi Private Limited. We'll move to the next one. This is Think Raw Innovative Solution Private Limited.
Hello. Pranam everybody, this is Ministry Madhumita, co-founder cum director of Think Raw Innovative Solutions Private Limited. We are a women enterprise recognized by Startup Odisha and Startup India. At Think Raw, we have been working towards reducing carbon footprint in the environment, and we have identified aquaculture sector as the niche market for our solar power innovations. Our mission has been to help the farmers from both aquaculture and agriculture sector enhance their income or enhance their harvest through integrating them with the modern sustainable solar power technologies, boosting their harvest and connecting them with the right market. Our solar power innovation Divaramitra, which is a fully automated device that covers the entire length and breadth of the water body, helps in maintaining the right ecosystem for fish and prawn harvesting through uniform feed distribution, uniformly maintaining the dissolved oxygen level and pH level of the water body. The key impact that we have already created with Divaramitra has been, with the use of Divaramitra, there has been 20 to 30% reduction in carbon footprint, 20 to 30% reduction in feed wastage, 40 to 50% reduction in labor utilization, and overall a 20 to 30% enhanced harvest for the fish and prawn farmer, both quality and quantity wise. And of course, we have already impacted more than 6,400 lives till now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And call me a bit biased, but it's always good to see a woman entrepreneur in this sector. So can we have a big round of applause? All right, the next one, Presensos Tech Innovations Private Limited.
Very good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Aditi from Presensos Tech. But what is not good is the undeniable fact that India is losing its lakes today. So more than 50 to 60% of the urban lakes right now are eutrophicated, and the major reason is the sewage discharge and other nutrient pollution. And main consequence of this pollution is the harmful algal growth and algae bloom formation, depletion in the oxygen level in the water, death of the fish and other aquatic lives. So as a holistic approach or in a sustainable way of solutions, we are offering two different technologies. The first one is an advanced bio. The trademark name is Swan Cap. It's an advanced floating device which controls the growth of algae and algal biomass in the water body and improves the other water quality parameters naturally, covering a huge surface area around up to 10 to 12 acres also. And it is also solar powered. Also, we are complementing this technological impact with other device, which is the nanobubble system. It's an advanced oxygenation system which improves the dissolved oxygen level in the water up to deepest level. So jointly this technology provides a complete holistic approach for restoring industrial water storage unit, natural water body, lakes, reservoir, aquaculture systems everywhere. So already we are working with multiple state governments like Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Delhi region also. And we'd be happy to collaborate further with here in Odisha government. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. More to women power. So we'll move to our next one. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the applause has to be louder. Come on. I mean, you need to encourage all of them. It takes a lot of courage to come up and do this pitch. So the next one is Qurecia Technologies Private Limited.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anubhav Sahu, and I am representing Qurecia Technologies Private Limited, a deep tech startup based in Odisha. We develop unmanned underwater vehicles for security and surveillance. Apart from security, we also provide services to dams, bridges, pipelines, underwater infrastructures, offshore oil rigs, etc. I want to share that our robot Jalasima has been inducted into Indian Navy recently. We have received the highest contract from Indian Navy for developing such robots. Also, our robot is TR MIL standard certified. Today we have brought two of our products. One is Jaladutta and another one is Jalasima. Jaladutta is a service class robot having depth of 150 meter, and Jalasima can go up to a depth of 300 meters, that is 1000 feet. I want to conclude by saying that oceans are not only resources, they are responsibility. At Qurecia, we are committed to develop smarter, safer, and sustainable blue economy. Thank you.
Well, finished well before time and said very rightly, oceans are not just resources, but responsibility. Thank you so much. I'll keep encouraging all of you during the breaks. Please visit them as well. So the next one, Milatronics Private Limited.
Good morning to all the dignitaries and friends of the startups. I'm Lokesh. I'm from Andhra Pradesh, Bantumilli. We are working on the aquaculture. It's a dollar business in India. Andhra Pradesh and Odisha is the second and third and fourth largest coastal line area of the shrimp farming. Basically, we are dealing with the L. Vannamei shrimps. We will feed the shrimps when they are hungry, like sounds we are capture. Based on the capturing of the sound intensity, our feeder will dispense the feed. In India, generally, the small farmers can't afford the technologies. We will reduce the technology we bring into the small farmers, and we make the small farmers into the smart farmers to do the dollar shrimp businesses. Thank you so much.
Again, well before time. Thank you. We'll move to our next one. This is Daruka Earth. You'll have to switch it on.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Vikram Singh. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Daruka Earth. India has one of the largest peninsular coastlines in the entire world, which one of the most biodiverse mangroves. These mangroves act as the buffers for the climate and protection of cyclone. If we want climate finance as one of the resources which protect these buffers, we have to do a better job in measuring and monetizing their impact. Currently, monitoring, reporting, verification systems focus around carbon only, which misses biodiversity and nature impact. Daruka Earth has built a nature intelligence platform which gives a holistic view to nature beyond carbon. We are already working in Bhitarkarnika Park in Odisha, where we already have offtake agreements and co-investments with some of the marquee investors. We bring lot of deep tech, which is AI-powered monitoring, bioacoustics, environmental DNA, and 100+ layers of data, which go into the depths of nature. If we were, I'm sorry. At this Blue Economy Summit, we have a singular and a grand mission: make Odisha and India the global reference point for measurable, investable blue carbon finance. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. We'll move to our next one, which is Stratify 3D Private Limited.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Dodda Srinivas. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Stratify 3D Private Limited, where we are working on advanced construction technologies for the construction and environmental applications. And particularly, we are working in the area of artificial reefs to restore the degraded coral cover. So coral reefs are, as we know, corals are among the most important ecosystem on Earth. Although they occupy less than 1% of the ocean floor, they support about 25% of the marine species. So, but however, due to ongoing global warming and human-made activities, these coral covers are the coral cover has drastically reduced, and by today, more than half of the coral cover has been already lost. And if we don't take any measures, and by this end of this century, this number may reach up to 95%. So to mitigate this and improve the coral cover, artificial reefs have generally been used to support the degraded patch, but the conventional structures like wrecks, tires, and concrete blocks, they lack the structural complexity and the ecological compatibility that required for the corals to grow. And we had Stratify 3D working on 3D concrete printed artificial reefs, where with a proven low pH and biocompatible materials developed in-house, and these materials will be utilized for the large-scale artificial reef production, and this can be used for the coral reef restoration. And currently we are actively working with IIT Guwahati and National Institute of Ocean Technology to pilot scale this large-scale product. As we have already completed the research and development, and now we are moving forward with the commercialization of this product. And we look forward for the collaborations and meeting the stakeholders to take this forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move to our next one, Aqua Doctor Solutions, LLP.
Yes, hi everyone, myself Dr. Devtanu Burman. When we talk about aquaculture, we always talk about technology, but we never talk about the end user. We are going to take the technology. So I will talk about the end user, that is our fishermen. 1.8 billion fishermen, when they sleep in the night, they sleep with lots of, anxiety in the mind, because they doesn't know what is happening inside the pond, or maybe the area where the fish farming or the aquaculture is happening. They doesn't know where is the market problem is, where is the middleman is engagement is there. So understanding those perspective of the problem, as I'm also a fisheries professional working in this industry for last 15 years, I have decided to come up with a solution and digital platform. When you talk about digital India, we cannot left digital part of fisheries also in that perspective. So we have developed an app called Matsya Sathi app. This particular app is covered with e-learning platform where farmer can learn anything on fisheries and aquaculture perspective in their own languages. Second is e-commerce platform, all the product under one roof where we can do the door delivery at their times and cutting down the multi-level of people engagement where the profit margin is other people are eating up. And another important part is the doctors on call. Most of the farmers, when they feel the problem on the disease or outbreak or any water pollution, they doesn't know to whom to connect. Though we have lots of ICAR Institute, KBKs, but they have certain other engagement. We have come up with a 24x doctors on call expert panel who will be addressing those problems. And most importantly, fisheries still considered as an unorganized sector. Understanding that, we have come up with an insurance scheme and credit linkage facility for the fish farmers, and putting all together, we have developed this Matsya Sathi app. If anybody wants to know more about us, we are there in the stall. We can do one-to-one, and we are looking for much collaborative supports in the boost up the blue economy in the country. And this particular app also get funded by Pusha Krishi IRI, IIT Kharagpur, and IIT Guwahati as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll move to our next participant, which is Charson Oils Company.
₹20 lakh. That was the amount of debt my father fell into as a shrimp aquaculture farmer nearly 12 years ago in our coastal village of Andhra Pradesh, India. This loss of 20 lakhs severely put our family condition in a serious position, and this just was the case of my father. This was the case for thousands of aquaculture farmers across India. While building Charson Oils Company, I had a strange realization. One of the key culprits behind the failures of aquaculture lies at the bottom of the pond. Black soil formation, dead soil formation, buildup of toxic gases, and declining water quality is one of the serious challenges that is putting a lot of stress and financial loss for aquaculture farmers. So we've come up with a solution. We are building Soil Chargers Aquamits, a new next generation pond soil bottom amendment that reduces the stresses that are building up in the aquaculture. It acts as a carbon buffer, absorbing the toxic gases and pollutants such as ammonia nitrates, hydrogen sulfide, and methane that is generated in aquaculture. And it also improves soil health, soil fertility, and also helping in sustainable and resilient aquaculture. Starting with 20 lakh challenge in my family, with a 20,000 crore market opportunity for pond bottom amendment across India, we are working to help aquaculture become sustainable and resilient. I couldn't help my father 12 years ago, but now I have the opportunity to support thousands of aquaculture farmers across India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll move to the next participant, which is Vision Excel Technologies Private Limited.
Hello, good afternoon everybody. Thanks for having me here. I'm here to give you a small brief about what our company is doing. I'm representing India, and we are currently, just to tell you in a small brief, we are basically primarily into container damage detection. This current process is done only manually across the country. We are one of the only companies that has been providing an AI-based solution for damage detection of containers, whereby we give you reports in about less than 30 seconds. We have been, the current manual process is about taking, it's a very long process. It takes about 8 hours for a person to detect containers, damages, and report back to the proprietary. Whereas we are a proprietary AI model developed by IIT Kanpur student. The founder is from IIT Kanpur. We are backed by IIT Kharagpur, also supported by NITI and NASCOM. At the same time, I would also like to give a small information that we are currently processing about 4.5 lakh APIs every single day. And therefore, our AI model is getting trained higher and better by the day. We are currently operating at about 99% accuracy, and we are placed in about 25 odd locations in India already. So if anybody of you may have use for MNR or for any such use cases, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you so much.
Perfect, right on time. So we'll move to our last two participants now, starting with Carbonics.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sameer Kumar Dalai. I am co-founder of Carbonics Aquaculture Private Limited. So basically, mud crab farming, which is a most sought-after delicacy in global seafood trade, has failed miserably because of one basic problem, which is cannibalism. You have seen fish and shrimp which has been grown in a batch basis, but mud crab, the very basic reason is cannibalism. They are territorial in nature. And because of the very reason, the farmer lose produce which is exceeding far more than 60%. That means survival is 40%. And because of the very issue, India loses the major part of this value trade where the farmer are not able to make the produce predictably. And all the very reason why it has not been industrialized till date. So at Carbonics, we asked a very simple question. Rather than doing in a traditional way, can we do it in a precision aquaculture way, like other systems being operated? So there we formed modular system to track and control crab individually in a container and thereby reducing cannibalism. On top of it, we have made an intelligence layer which is called AquaOS, which controls all the life cycle data beginning from the hatchery to harvest, thereby enabling farmers and processors to get relevant data and decision-making ability, thereby making it an industrial process of precision aquaculture. So, end of the day, our vision is to make sure that mud crab farming is scalable and it can help India tap to the able to tap the potential which India with a vast coastline has, able to tap and unlock the potential of mud crab farming as India did in shrimp industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, Vertex Eco Solution Private Limited.
Shall I start? Yeah. A very good afternoon to all. I am Dr. S. Krupakar Murli, and this is my co-founder, Gopalakrishnan. We are presenting to you a TRL level 9 product, which actually solves the existing problems that people are facing in mangrove afforestation work. We are also providing a lot of jobs for SC/ST community. Actually, there are 2 self-help groups that we have started, and many more have shown interest in this particular product. The problems that we are solving is essentially the carbon sequestration is, the climate change is a problem, and because of the carbon dioxide, we don't have proper CSR accountability. When CSR funds are given, they are unable to actually say how much of carbon they have actually trapped. We are able to provide that kind of accountability. So TCS has taken interest in our product, and there are other multinational companies who are showing interest. We are in negotiation with them. And if you see the value proposition, essentially we are able to give good biodiversity. In fact, Japanese government has invested 2,000 crores in India to develop the mangrove forest simply because the fish spawn here and they go show up there. And we are unable to actually do that properly. And our technique actually does it. This particular product that you're seeing is called BioRoll. Actually, this does not do justice. I invite you to come to our stall upstairs, where we can give you a small demo of what we do. We actually are able to make this high tide resistant. Usually the fishbone structure that is used, usually what it does is you have to use a lot of labor in order to create the fishbone structure. And after that, when you actually plant it, usually the survivability is like 40 to 60%. With our product, it is almost 90%, and it reduces the labor, and it also saves a lot of money because you don't have to really dig that trench the way they actually do it right now. So what we are actually going to do now is, our plan is to future expand, not just with mangrove forest, but we can also do it with the regular forest. Our project actually aligns with Prime Minister's Science and Technology, PMSTISC, and also the National Mission for Agriculture. So we are able to handle multiple issues, and we are able to give a solution which is better than the existing solution, while we are also saving money. Usually new techniques are more expensive, but our technique is actually simple and easy to implement.
So the time is up since quite a bit.
Thank you very much. If you need to talk to me, please come upstairs. I am there in my stall. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can we have a huge round of applause for all our startups for presenting their innovative ideas with such confidence before this global summit? We wish each of them great success in the journey, and of course, we hope that the summit opens doors for new collaborations, partnerships, and opportunities for them. I know it's a blue summit, so we are talking everything blue. A lot of us are wearing blue today as well, but we won't let the midday blue settle in, so we'll now break for a sumptuous lunch to elevate your mood and uplift your spirits. But of course, we'll first encourage you to visit the expo and interact with our participants as well during the lunch break. We'll be expecting all of you to assemble here in the main hall by 2:30 p.m. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your lunch.